Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner have arrived in Doha, Qatar. They are the extension of President Trump's diplomatic force to end this war with Iran. The Iranians may not even talk to the Americans there. We're hearing that there'll be extensive use of the Qatari mediators.
U.S. envoy Mr. Steve Witkoff and Mr. Jared Kushner are here in Doha to meet with the mediators, meaning with the Qatari officials. We're not expecting any high-level Iranian officials at the moment, but so they are not here for direct negotiations with the Iranians.
But the big question is in Lebanon. Iran won't trust that the United States can stop Israel from attacking them in the future if we can't even stop Israel from attacking Lebanon right now to secure the peace deal. And inside Iran, an armed resistance remains. The MEK is trying to capture government leaders, assassinate IRGC generals, and even set up a provisional government. We have real doubts about that strategy. Can an internal Iranian group really overthrow the government? One member of that armed resistance is here to try to convince us they can. Joining us now, a member of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, also known as the MEK, Ali Safavi. Ali, you put all this time and effort into planning this big event in Paris. Tell us how all that's shaken out.
Well, first of all, good afternoon to you, Matt, and great to be with you today. Well, the rally, of course, as expected, was held, although at the last minute, 36 hours before everything was about to begin, the French government said that the rally cannot be held, and they said it's because of security threats. And then the French intelligence service published a report that the judge based his decision on that, which basically said that there were terrorist threats against the rally, both from the regime, but also, and interestingly, by the monarchists, the supporters of Reza Pahlavi, and those who are basically brandishing SAVAK, the Shah's secret police insignia on their shirts. Nevertheless, because already people had come, there were like 837 buses that had descended on Paris, and so about 50,000 of the 100,000 showed up. And many of them went to the main area, Vauban Palace, Vauban Square. And the others, because there was a heavy presence of police, some 5,000 policemen had come. And so the remainder went to other major squares in Paris, the République, the Trocadero, and Bastille. And they held the rally,
okay,
although, of course,
I got you, Ali. I got you. Yeah, it sounds like you face some real administrative hurdles there, but it begs the bigger question. What's now going to happen to the regime in Iran? You were holding this rally as a member of the armed resistance in and outside of Iran. Now the IRGC is still in power. There seem to be these talks coming up in Doha, though the Iranians are not seemingly ready to engage in direct discussions with the Americans. What do you make of all that?
Yes, that's a very good question. Let me, of course, emphasize that whatever activity that the NCRI undertakes in Europe and the United States is entirely peaceful, and this rally also was quite peaceful. And then, of course, we had
inside of Iran.
Yeah, yes, outside Iran, yes. And dignitaries were there. Keith Kellogg was there. Boris Johnson came, and they all spoke because the event was moved indoors in less than 36 hours, which goes to show the resilience of the movement itself. But as it pertains to the domestic situation, I think this whole thing is far from over. I think the regime is very fragile. Just today, for you to know, the lead negotiator, the Speaker of the Parliament, was speaking on state radio and television, and in the middle of his speech, the broadcast was cut off. Just 2 days ago, 66 members of the Guardian Council, which basically, the Assembly of Experts, which designates the leader, wrote a letter saying that there should be no negotiations, that the nuclear issue must be taken off the discussions, and they have violated the red line set by the new supreme leader. So there's a lot of tension ongoing as we speak. And so, as I said when we met last, this whole thing is far from over. It remains to be seen as to whether the Iranian regime has the capability to abide by the terms of this MOU the way it has been described. So we have to wait and see.
So your organization, Ali, no, that's important. Hold on, let me probe there real quick, because you mentioned the MOU. Your group has attacked the Ayatollah before he was ultimately taken out by U.S. missiles. You were trying to capture or kill him. Your group has been accused of assassinating Iranian generals. If Iran sticks to the terms of the MOU, what should the world expect when it comes to the armed actions of the MEK, your group, within Iran?
Well, actually, it is also the Iranian people who are protesting against these regimes. I think that if the war ends, and remember that the regime used this war as a shield to repress the society, no less than 35 dissidents were executed, and many, many more ordinary citizens have been executed as well. And so if the political space is created, that will only give the Iranian people the chance to come out and vent their angers, because the very acute problems that led to the 2026 uprising are still there. This is why when the MOU was first signed, Mrs. Rajavi, the NCRI president-elect, welcomed it, but she also said that the issue of human rights executions must be part of any agreement that is reached by this regime. So, quite frankly...
But it's not.
Well, I think
none of that's in the MOU.
Yes, but I think that the Iranian people will take matter in their own hands, as we have said all along, that change in Iran will not come through war, will not come through negotiations. It will come through the Iranian people and the organized resistance. So we are quite confident. And in fact, just yesterday, the resistance unit carried out 35 daring operations in Tehran and 20 other provinces. Yesterday, in the Kurdish area, 4 members of the IRGC were attacked by some of the Kurdish groups. So you're beginning to see...
So you're going to continue those efforts to attack and execute IRGC members in the current state of play, it sounds like.
I wouldn't put it like in those terms, but what I can say is that we're going to continue to organize, to attack the IRGC bases, centers, and suppressive institutions of the regime. And of course, that organized resistance fused with the nationwide uprising, I think, can topple this regime. Just as
we have to leave it there due to time, but we will continue to follow it. Ali Safavi, member of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, also known as the Mujahideen Khalq. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.